What is up, you guys? This is MiniSuperHeroesToday. And today's video is going to have massive spoilers for Marvel's What If. So if you haven't seen the latest episode, or the episode you clicked on this video for, be sure to turn away and come back after you've seen it. Wow, guys, today's episode was so epic. Oh my gosh, so much happened, and as you can see here, it was actually kind of a smaller ensemble cast, but the episode was so bleak and went over so much that honestly, it was probably best. So, as you saw in the thumbnail and everything, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to build every character from today's episode using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. So with that being said, let's get started. So the first character we see in this week's episode is Black Widow, and she looked awesome in her, apocalyptic suit. And probably the most interesting thing is that she does pick up Red Guardian's shield. Now, this episode was definitely filled with a lot of head-scratching plot holes, like, how did Red Guardian's shield end up in this archive if actually he had it in 2016 or 17 after Civil War? It doesn't really make sense because Age of Ultron took place in 2015, so maybe there were a lot of alternative things that went on in this timeline. But anyways, I used Red Guardian's shield from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set. Then, to build the actual figure itself, I used the torso from one of the talons from LEGO Batman. The legs are those Imperial Gunner legs. I use them all the time. I gave her a blue lightsaber handle since she has her Widow sticks that she had in Age of Ultron in this episode. Then the arms, you can see, are black short-sleeved arms with black gloves. Those come from Ethan Hunt from LEGO Dimensions Mission Impossible. The head is the Black Widow head, and the hair is from the Brick Lady from LEGO Incredibles 2. Up next is Hawkeye, and it's kind of interesting because he wears several different outfits in the episode, but I'm going to go for the simplest one so that the most people watching this video can build it. He does wear his Age of Ultron jacket in the episode, so I went ahead and used the Age of Ultron torso, legs, and head for Hawkeye. The only thing you'll need to do, though, is that on this arm, you'll need to switch out the black glove for a tan hand, because for whatever reason, in the Age of Ultron LEGO set, he's got a black glove, but in the episode, he's not wearing it. Then, of course, you'll remember that he has a robotic arm on this side, so I went ahead and put a gunmetal arm on there. I gave him a black quiver, and you'll notice the hair is messed up a little bit. That's because I took some sandpaper and I actually sanded off the entire sides to give him a mohawk. I did that back in Avengers Endgame, and I went ahead and reused that piece here because Hawkeye does have shaved sides in this episode. Now we get into the Ultron drones, and man, there were sure a lot of them in this episode. The problem is this. In Age of Ultron, the movie, they kind of discriminated Ultron by making the version that had the red eyes and mouth the version where Ultron's consciousness was, and then all of the drones just had the blue version. So you could watch the movie and you could see the blue versions turn to red, and that's like Ultron hopping from body to body, as the battle raged on. In this episode, every version of Ultron had the red face. So it leaves us in a little bit of a conundrum, because if we go back to 2015 when the Age of Ultron sets were coming out, all of the Ultron drone army builder figures we got were the blue ones, and there was only one set that came with a red Ultron. So of course, in a perfect world, I would tell you to get a bunch of red Ultrons and army build, but they are more expensive than the blue version since the blue version is easier to get. So honestly, I'm not sure what to tell you guys. Like I said, I would recommend army building this one, but the blue version is a lot cheaper and easier to army build, so you can make your own decision from there. Now, we do see a whole bunch of characters show up in this episode, like Grandmaster and Korg, but even Star-Lord and the Guardians, but, just for the sake of brevity, I'm only going to focus on characters that actually had speaking lines, and of course, that does include Tony Stark. In the scene we see him in, he's at the, nuclear code base. I remember him going there in Age of Ultron, I just don't remember exactly where it was. But anyways, he does have his mask blown off right before Ultron kills him, so you can see that we used the Mark 43 armor, and I just took the faceplate off so that you could see his face just like the episode. Now, before we see the Ultimate Ultron, we do briefly see him inhabit Vision, which was his initial plan all along. So, of course, I just went ahead and used the Vision figure that came in Captain America Civil War or Infinity War, because the version that came from the Age of Ultron movies had the wrong stone in his head. That version was blue, and of course we know in the movies it's yellow. So just a cool little factoid for you guys. We do see Thanos show up on Earth, presumably to collect the final stone, because in his gauntlet we see that the Mind Stone is missing. So with that being said, I went ahead and used the Infinity War version of Thanos, but of course removed that Mind Stone. I really hated how quickly Vision, or I guess Ultron, nerfed him. I just thought that was pretty cheap. And it kind of undermines Thanos as a character if Vision could have just sliced him in half in Infinity War. But anyways, we're here to talk about the customs, not necessarily pick apart the episode, even though it's kind of fun to do. Once Ultron collects all of the Infinity Stones, he goes ahead and builds himself some new armor around his Vision body, and I love the way that this turned out. So to build this, I used the Ultimate Ultron head, the little mouthpiece here, the torso, and body. I think it's like Ultron Prime or something is the name of the official figure, but anyways, that's what I used there. You can see I did put Vision's head underneath there, and once you put the head on, don't push down the entire top piece, because then you see Vision's eyes, which you don't necessarily want. I like that you just kind of see the pink of Vision's forehead, and it kind of fills in the gaps there, because you really want to see Vision's mouth, not his eyes. Now this like torso plate here, I guess this shoulder armor is from Nexo Knights. You can see it's got all these studs on the back, and then you could use any red cape. You want to put that underneath the shoulder armor, and I just used mine from the CMF Scarlet Witch, but you could really use any red cape, doesn't matter. It's crazy how Captain Marvel keeps showing up in these episodes, but here she is again. Of course, I just used the Captain Marvel head and torso. I used the legs from the Spider-Man Homecoming / Far From Home Spider-Man because it just adds some great detail. And then the hair is just some long blonde hair. It's come in several different places, so yeah, that is Captain Marvel. I haven't included the Watcher in very many, if any, episode breakdowns since the very first episode, because I thought, in the Agent Carter, or I guess Captain Carter episode, he did show up, so I thought he should be included, but this time he really shows up and does interact. So, of course, here is the Watcher minifigure. It's just the regular Watcher figure from the Iron Man Sakaar armor set, so no upgrades. Maybe I'll make some in the future, but for right now, it's just going to be the one you see here, because it does look pretty dang good. When I was watching the episode, I'm always planning out my customs in advance, and I was not sure how I was going to make the green version of Ultron once Zola, takes over one of Ultron's bodies, but it does look awesome, and thanks to texting with my editor and my pal Jetty, we did come up with an idea to put a green head underneath there. So what I did is, you could really use any green head. The one I used is from one of the CMF Witch figures, but then you just put that inside of the Ultron head casing from the red version of Ultron. Then I put it on one of the Sentry bodies because although the lights are blue, it's a lot closer than red, so it does work out pretty well, and I love the way that this one turned out. Once Ultron faces off with the Watcher, we see him spawn some battle armor, basically straight out of Dragon Ball Z, but it does look really awesome. So for the torso, my editor Jetty suggested actually using the Atlantean Guard from the Justice League sets, but I personally really like the Gamora torso from the CMF. You could use either one, doesn't really matter, but yeah, that's what happened here. So the legs actually come from the CMF Gamora, so I guess I didn't lose out entirely. But the arms are from Donald Duck from the LEGO Disney Collectible Minifig series, gold arms, and the rest is from the Watcher. So yeah, pretty easy. And at the end of the episode, we do see evil Doctor Strange show up again, or Dark Doctor Strange. I don't know if he has a name. I don't know if he's necessarily evil. He was just a man after his own cause, and anyways, we're not doing character breakdowns here. I did already build this figure in my Doctor Strange What If episode, but as a refresher, how to build this is using the hair and head from Doctor Strange from Infinity War, the collar from Zurg from LEGO Toy Story. I used this eye Alright guys, well be sure to hit like and subscribe down below. Next week should be insane. I think we can all see where this is going. I think the Watcher's gonna assemble all the heroes we've seen so far and have them go up against Ultron. Man, that is gonna be epic. So drop a comment below, let me know what you think of these figures, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, which is bound to be a pretty big one. Well, you've made it to the end of the video. You should hit like and subscribe down below for more LEGO content from me, because I post just about every single day. You'll be up to date on all the latest in LEGO, so why not join my community and hit subscribe now.